All right, welcome back to episode 35 of the West Marches. Let's find a little bit more out about what's going on here. So, you all are sitting around drinking and having a merry time. And so Darius, Waza is very clearly, she's pretty excited to be back in the exclusive back area. It looks like she's sort of meeting new people that she doesn't usually talk to. And she's very happy to have had you bring her back here, so she's quite friendly with you.
And is the Elenis guy also, was he hitting on me or was he hitting on her?
He was hitting on her, Ellohime.
Oh.
Yes. And
well, I'm a little bummed about that, but
yeah, but he's having a good time. They're all smiling and laughing and talking about, random events of state. Now, Grigori, you were looking for information specifically, right?
I mean, I'm kind of out of my element. I'm letting Darius
take the lead.
The charge here. Yeah.
What about
all I know what to do is like make a scene and get drunk. So what I probably end up doing is after I establish like we're not just here to fuck around with your underlings to this guy, where I'm like, no, you're obviously the guy in charge. Don't let your goons talk to us.
Yeah.
Once that's done, I've set the stage. I'm gonna let Gallahan and Darius do the talking, and I probably like bust out the balalaika and tune it up and play something quietly.
Cool.
And proceed to get more and more drunk as the night goes on.
What about Tilly? What does she do whenever the guy says something to her about the cant?
Yeah, so he's not being super obvious about it, right? But he slid the cup directly over top of it, looked in your eyes, and said, "Welcome to the club." And then I think there was just a round of drinking and general light banter, and you guys have sort of heard a couple of names of people around the table, and that's about it so far. But now we're getting to the serious stuff. So how do you guys steer the conversation from here?
Do I know who we're looking for?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do I know who we're looking for specifically? Like, do we know? I'm asking Gregorian, so we don't know exactly who we're looking for or what kind of person it is.
I mean, if you bring up like why are we in town, like I'll answer for you, so to keep the conversation going in that direction.
Yeah, he asks eventually. He says, "So you're new in town? Are you from the University District or elsewhere?"
He's asking. I assume him and Darius are having the conversation.
He's kind of asking you for generally. You're all there. You're all around the table. He looks from one to the other of you. So, what are you here for? Why did you're just here for a drink? You're in town for a little while. Where are you from?
I look at Grigori. This is all about you telling us where we're going.
Gallahan's being pretty quiet because clearly this first warrior reputation has preceded him somewhat. And so he's like being careful about what he says or does.
Yeah.
And I say, I sort of put my hand on Grigori and I'm like, I'm just, following this old guy around trying to keep him out of trouble. I said, no, but we're not from here. We usually, we wander a lot. This looks like a nice town. Thought we'd kick back. And, yeah.
Tilly's feeling the effects of that tankard she downed. She's feeling a little lightheaded. She's feeling a little loose, feeling a little crazy. So she's just kind of sitting there letting this kind of work on her right now. And she's kind of looking over at the other four kind of for direction. She doesn't want to speak up. She's kind of dealing with her own internal.
Slide another drink to her.
Yeah.
In front of her.
Yeah.
First one doesn't count.
Yeah.
It doesn't get real till like the fourth or fifth one.
I nod towards Darius and take a sip of the drink.
And I sort of I try to get Grigori to speak to the man.
Sure. Yeah. And
I turn my attention back to the woman whenever you start to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess to Elenis, I say, our time here in this place is temporary. We are looking for something. Trust me, we are more comfortable in Outlands than we are in city. It's nice to have roof overhead, cold drink, but we will be going soon, I think. As soon as we have what we are looking for.
Looking for something?
Yes. I mean, isn't everyone?
Well, certainly. Now, I happen to be pretty skilled at finding things. Are you looking for something in particular? Shopkeep, specific person?
We were sent here by a friend who said we could find information. We are on something of a mission, if you will.
You're in the right part of town for information. There's more books than you could ever read here in the University Row. What
Well, I
kind of
don't know.
information?
I read pretty fast. But yes, there seem to be many learned people in this place. And I actually kind of sneer when I say that. I'm like, I never had much time for books myself.
Yeah.
I like to learn in the real world. But some things, they are too old to be passed along this way. We are looking for someone who knows about dragons.
Dragons?
A scholar, perhaps. We were not sent here to find person in particular, but it is said Piranor is a place of higher learning, that if information exists, it can be found here.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah, dragons. That's not many people who know about that, but you know what? I could ask my boys to keep their ears out for you if you like.
Shrug. It would be all right. We would appreciate it. Always is nice to make new friends in unfamiliar cities.
Yeah. Now, listen, you don't work for free. We don't work for free. We're new friends, so, and you did buy us a keg. So I'll find out if there's anybody who knows anything, and then we'll talk about how much that information is worth to you.
Yes, that sounds fine. We have money to spend.
Yeah, Ellohime just nods, sips, yeah.
Well, this sounds good. Give us a few days to get everything in order. Meet us back here. You staying anywhere nearby? Maybe get a room upstairs.
We had not decided yet. Is this place, and I look around, I'm like, is this worth staying in or only worth getting drunk in?
It's cheapest prices in town.
I like a scoff. I'm like, we are a long way from cheapest price in town, friend. Point us somewhere worth staying.
Well, you want somewhere worth staying,
I sort of, at this point, I look, what was the woman's name? I don't even remember. I just look at her and I'm like, I don't even care. I just look at her and I'm like, so where are you staying?
Yeah, she smiles and she drapes an arm around you. Let's see. I'm looking at the nearest wealthy region. Yeah, he nods. He says, well, you want something nicer than you can find in University Row, you're going to have to either go a little bit out of your way over to the Palace of 1,000 Rooms, or you're going to have to go very far out of your way, up to the Smeltery. It's far north, up on the high spire.
And I kind of shrug. I'm like, you have no suggestion?
Well, if you're looking to live like a king, that's where you're going to be able to do it. Me and my boys don't tend to go out that way too often. We're a little tighter on our purses than that. But if you're looking for somewhere nice here in this section of town, I'm sure there's something nearby. I could probably make a recommendation.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at you, Gallahan, like, I personally don't feel like staying in the, like, crappy end of town. And I don't know, like, we don't have this money for nothing. What do you think? Do we stay in the tavern here, wait for information, or do you want to stay somewhere
like
a little
4 pints
nicer?
at this point, and he just kind of like looks at the dog and he's like, you know what I want? I want a bath. I want a nice bath.
Yeah.
Where can I get a bath?
I look at Alanis. Yes, it has been too long on the road, and I like kind of jingle my chainmail. I'm like, fucking armor is chafing me. I too could use some pampering.
He sort of like thumbs his beard for a second, and then looks back up at you. Says, "You know what? Head to the Palace of 1,000 Rooms. There's a tavern in there. It's called the Frigid Queen. The proprietor has developed a very interesting method of sending messages. She sells candles. I can use them to give you a message if you burn it. So it's convenient for everyone. Sound good?"
Like, yes, we will check this out. You have some way for us to get there? A cart, perhaps? I don't feel like walking uphill.
Yeah, well, sorry about that, my friend. Walking is mostly what you're going to be doing. You could probably rent a cart in Shrike's Landing, which is just up the main road and then to the right of ways. It's a little bit more upscale. It's run by a nobleman named Auric the Shrike.
Yeah, he's fine. A little walk at night won't hurt us. And I said to him, I'm like, so you are a big man here among people who deal under the table, I assume? You have connections with the criminal underworld?
Oh, that's a fine way of putting it. Yeah, some people know my name. That's about it.
Tell your friends not to bother us. We are not to be robbed. If you want our gold, you can come by it legitimately.
Hey, listen, Doc. You seem like a fine man. And seems clear that your group here are friendly folk who are worth having around. You won't have any trouble from me or mine, but Pyranor is a big place. Watch your back. There's more groups in town than mine.
I nod and I say, you don't have to worry about us. I am not fine man and we are not nice folks.
Yeah, Gallahan like creaks out of his chair and you hear like all the plate like clanging and the chains going. And like these big 2 footsteps just boom, boom across the room and he kind of leans in and says, "We ain't as nice as you think we are." And then he just walks out the tavern.
He laughs and he shouts after you. He says, "I didn't think you were nice."
Whenever he says that there's other factions, Tilly speaks up kind of abruptly and says, Who are the other factions?"
He looks down at you and says, "Ooh, that's just a bunch of assholes that we're trying to keep our turf clear of, that's all."
When you say turf, are these rivals?
Yeah. Dina, Basil, them and their boys. Yeah, it's just stupid people stealing where they shouldn't be. And then as he sees like the rest of your party sort of walking away, ready to go out, he leans down and says, "Listen, little one, you're smart. You watch the signs. You see our signs, you're fine. You see other signs, not so good. But listen, you're not one of us. If I catch you stealing in our area of town, we'll cut your throat."
I look him right back in the eye and without blinking, trying to muster up whatever courage I can, and I say that I understand. And I just kind of keep that look on him for a little while.
What did you say?
Said that I understand.
Yeah, got it.
Keep the gaze with him for a bit, and then go ahead and follow Gallahan on the way out.
Is there I don't hear this exchange because I sort of like get up and I look back at Waza and I'm like, so, and I hold my hand and I'm like, so you coming with?
Yeah, she goes with you.
And we walk out. So
are you two going? So hang on, are you two going to her house or are you bringing her with you?
Oh, I'm bringing her with me.
All right, cool.
And so, are you still going to Tilly?
I'm following you guys out, and
okay.
Once we get outside, Tilly's still a little bit drunk, so she kind of falls forward into the both of you guys. Tries to
straight into her ass.
Yeah, like straight into her ass, and tries to kind of right herself and apologizes and starts looking around for Gallahan and tries to keep up with him.
Okay. Do you need to make a roll, Tilly?
Do.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Waza laughs and as she like pulls your hands off of her hips and she says, "Little one, you're not my type." And then she like kneels down next to you and she says, "And you're not the first person in this bar to try to steal from me." And then she just like taps you on the cheek a little bit and then pushes you off.
I reach down and grab the woman and like I help her back to her feet and I'm like, "Don't worry about her. She's drunk. She doesn't know what she's doing. Just ignore half price. She doesn't do this." And I sort of like encourage her to keep walking and
she just laughs and says, "I see you're not the only one in your group with wandering hands."
So while Gallahan and I are walking, because we're a little further ahead, Gallahan, I kind of like, I say to you sort of like out of the blue and kind of like I'm not looking for a particular answer, but I'm just making conversation. I'm like, I never understood thieves. Seems to me if you want to take something that belongs to someone, why leave them alive? This concept confuses me. Then like, there's so many of them, and I like gesture around.
If you were a coward.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I don't understand how they have entire organizations of cowards unwilling to just kill each other and take the things that they want. Then you build city on top of it, make banks to store cowardice money. None of this makes any sense. A pile of stones with cowards living in it.
Well, if everyone's dead, then no one tells tales. If no one tells tales, then we get no information. And if everyone was you, there wouldn't be anyone left, Doc. So let's be thankful that you're the only Doc, and everyone else is a thief.
It's true.
When I walk up, I want to know if I can hear some of this back and forth a little bit. Are they talking loud enough where I can hear it, or would you prefer?
Yeah, I'm not trying to hide what I'm saying. Certainly.
Well, I'm sort of having a conversation with the woman, not paying attention to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, by definition, you're a halfling and no one pays attention to you. So
when I walk up and I hear you say that thieves are cowards, I sort of stop and I kind of look at you, kind of in a drunken, like a little bit, and I look up and I say, "You think I'm a coward?"
And I look at you. I'm like, no, little one. I don't think you're a coward. I don't think you're a thief either. You're a killer. You do what needs to be done. You're richer for it. I'm very proud of you.
And at this, I kind of put my hand up and I'm pointing at Grigori and I say, "There's more to me than that."
I don't doubt it.
I'm still kind of wavering, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm pretty into like having this conversation with you while you're like a little fucked up because I get drunk all the time and like it's a thing I'm familiar with. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't doubt that. I'm sure you are very complicated. We will learn more about you in time, as you will about yourself.
Don't do that talking that you do. And she gets like frustrated with herself because everything that you say, like, kind of like, you're always like one step ahead of her, right? And it's always kind of been on the back burner, but now that she's got a little alcohol in her, it's kind of frustrating her that you're how verbose you are, how like charismatic you are. It's almost kind of getting underneath her, and she's still just kind of wavering back and forth with like her finger pointed at you, like trying to find the words to combat you, but she can't. And she finally puts her hands on her side and kind of huffs to herself, and she says that she doesn't. I don't feel very well.
It's got more layers than an onion.
I look over you and I'm like, that feeling you have, that is being alive. This place, I look around, meaning both like the city and like life in general, I'm like, is very bad for you. You have terminal condition. It's called living. Eventually, it will kill you. For now, get drunk and enjoy it.
At this, I vomit all over his feet.
I laugh.
Very nice.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, so you guys are walking through the streets, and Ilonis, he gave you some more detailed directions, turn right at the major intersection just past the tower, turn left, and then another right at the end of the large thoroughfare, and then turn left. You're going to head into, let's see. Nope, that's not what I want. You're going to head into a Carnival district, and then from there you're going to head up into the Palace of 1,000 Rooms. So, yeah, you head up along, let's see, you head up along streets where, like, the streets are lit with just oil lanterns, and imagery of drowning men is carved into nearly every stone surface along the streets here. And there's faces of onlookers carved as well, like watching people being drowned in pools or drowning in the waves and things like that. And the onlookers are either gleeful or supplicating. And you also notice that there are a number of open-air aqueducts and fountains lining the streets and at various intersections around in this particular district. From there, you head into a district where it's much poorer, and you can tell that there are a number of people who are living on the streets here, whether in just sort of like they've got a blanket that they wrap themselves in, or even just they've erected colorful tents that keep them housed here. All along the streets, there's colorful tents. As you're walking, Grigori, you see two things. Can you give me a perception check? Check, Grigori.
Making a note of my scroll here. Yeah, perception. Moderately perceptive. Oh, killing it.
Wow.
21.
Rushing it. Cool.
Beer has heightened your senses.
Yeah.
You're walking along a street, and one of these tents, you hear like an argument from inside, and someone gets thrown out. And it's a wiry older man, probably 60s or 70s or something like that. And he looks a little bit frail. He gets tossed out, and immediately, as soon as you see this, you also see down at the end of the street, probably 100, 120 feet away from you, a group of those guards who are walking down in your direction. They see you, and they've got a torch that they're holding up, and they've all got it looks like chainmail and a shield. Each of them has it. And this man, who's just been tossed out of this tent, he picks himself up and he brushes himself off, and he looks at you, and he's clearly very, very drunk. And he wavers and he says, Is it you? And when you were a slave, did you have any sort of nickname that your masters gave you?
Probably not one that I would know, right? Like,
yeah.
we were never like acknowledged directly. We were never given a name. And I also look probably pretty different. Like, my eyes would be the only thing you might be able to recognize. So I was like a little kid, and I'm a huge dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What color, eye contact, that'd be the thing.
What color are your eyes?
They're green. Like a green.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what he says. He says, "Is that green eyes? Is that you?"
Do I recognize it?
You got big. Yeah. He's one of the slaves who was basically like working with your masters, but he was kind of he was like the head slave in charge of like housework in this manse wherever you were kept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reach down and help him up.
Yeah.
Like I grab him, pull him to his feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hello, old friend. And does it look like the guards are coming over here to cause trouble for him? Like he's in trouble? Or
it looks like they're just patrolling. They don't necessarily look like they're speeding up or anything. They definitely see you. They're not trying to like approach you terribly quickly or anything. They're just walking around.
Yeah, yeah. So what's this guy's name?
Let's see. Werner.
Okay. And does Werner have, looking at him, is he wearing, like, does he look like he's still a slave? Are slaves legal here? Like, what's his deal now that I've, like, got some context?
He doesn't look like he's a slave. I think probably like he would have like a collar on or manacles or something, just like as a symbol of his slavehood. In fact, you've probably seen folks wandering the streets with either a collar or manacles, not necessarily chained, but present.
Obviously they're
and he's missing them. In fact, he's got like some scarification around his neck where it used to be sitting.
Yeah, and I think that when I noticed that, and maybe like Gallahan, you're probably the closest to me. Like I'm having this conversation with this guy that just stumbled into me. I like probably touch my neck like absentmindedly. Like I like rub my neck, and I say to the group, I'm like, it is a fortuitous day. This is my old friend Werner. We are knowing each other from the old days.
Yeah. Hey, Green. I gotta get home.
Yes, you look like you are not feeling well. Listen,
Yeah.
and I turn to Gallahan and I give you this sort of like steely look. I'm like, I will meet you at the inn later. I'm going to help my friend get home.
When I look up and see, is it Vernon or Werner?
Werner.
When I look up and see this person, he's a little bit elderly? Is he a little bit older?
Yeah.
Tilly gets a flashback of letting loose an arrow at the old man some days ago.
Yeah.
And ends up vomiting again, this time on him and on the lower portion of his knees and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, Werner, you're a mess. Let's get you home and clean you up. You can tell me all about what has been happening since last time we saw each other.
I start begging him and I start saying, I'm sorry.
He puts
sorry.
a hand on your face, Tilly, and he says, I think I'm gonna be sick.
I'm like begging him and saying I'm sorry. Like I'm trying to like put my arms on him and I'm like saying how sorry I am, and there's tears starting to run down.
He shoves you out of the way, and then he
Gallahan
just
like grabs Tilly by the scruff of the neck and just stuffs her under his arm. And then he like throws his and he just starts walking. He like kind of throws his hand back over his shoulder and he's like, "I'll see you later, Doc."
I'm screaming, does he know I'm sorry? Does he know I'm sorry?
Such a messy drunk. I love it.
The guards come up to you, Grigori, as you're walking away, and they say, "Is everything all right? Sounds like there's a little bit of trouble."
I nod and I shake my head and I'm like, "It's fine. My friend had a little bit too much to drink tonight. We are going to get him home and take care of him."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If he's making trouble, we can throw him in the tank.
Well, and as I walk past the guards, I'm like, "It's a her," and I have my arm around the chick now, and I keep walking. So, because you kept calling Tilly
no, they're talking about the old man.
Oh, I thought you were calling Tilly
they're talking
an
about
old
Vernon.
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then I'm drunk too, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I think they understand that.
Who the
This is
hell
a
is
woman,
that guy?
baby.
Yeah, they understand that. Yeah, the guards say, "Yeah, well, get him home before he causes any trouble."
Don't worry. There will be no more trouble from him.
Yeah, right. Have a good evening.
Yes,
you
you
walk.
officer. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I can get Werner to show me where his house is at.
Yeah, definitely. He leads you down a couple roads, and he gets turned around a little bit, and then finally finds his way back to sections of town.
Very patient and very like careful with him to make sure he doesn't like fall down or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, you guys are in this this part of town. It's known as Carnival, right? And you're passing these tents and general sort of just stone houses. Let's see. Yeah, okay. It's not too bad. Once he gets sorted out, he just leads you down a straight shot. It intersects another road that he turns left on and moves along just for a short ways, maybe another minute or two, before he steps up to what looks to be, a pretty decent looking home. It's probably on the second story. There's a wrought iron staircase that's bolted onto the stone, and he leads you up it, and he's fumbling with a key in front of a dark blue painted door with a small lantern burning up on the upper right.
Yeah, I take the key like from him when he's like fiddling with it, and I find the right key. And I say to him, like, "Such a big house, Werner. You are living here by yourself? You have wife and children?"
No. My wife, well, she died. Masters weren't happy with me once. You understand how they can be sometimes.
Yes, I understand very well. Life is cruel, Werner. But now you have a beautiful house. And I'm like, I unlock the door. I'm like, where did you get such a nice house from?
Green, come in. I have wine. We can drink. Green,
Good.
listen. He's leading you through the foyer. You know, it's simply attired, but it's a nice place. It's small, but nice. He says, "Listen, I stole every day. I put just a little bit out back in the pigsty where they shit. I would dig down, just place coins every day, just a coin. Sometimes weeks with nothing, sometimes 2 in a day. And when I had enough, I bought my freedom."
I'm like nodding, and I think I lead him up to. I'm looking for the kitchen.
I'm smart man, Green. Always good to keep them off guard. That's why you've got to be on their side. You can't be friendly with the other slaves, Green. I hope you understand that. And then he wanders in the kitchen and grabs a jug of wine, sets out 2 mugs, says, "That's what it was."
I sit him down at the table, and I'm like, Werner, I remember. It was so long ago, but such hard times for all of us. You had to do what you had to do to survive, didn't you? And as he's sitting down, I'm like, you are drunk. We are going to drink more. You need something to eat. And I'm like getting down like a cast iron pan or something, and like putting it on his stove, and putting some like logs into the stove.
Yeah. Eggs in the box over there. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't go anywhere. I'm just heating up the pan.
Hard times, and they made you into a hard man. Yeah. You probably still got the scars on your back, don't you?
I do.
You were a good learner, Green. I think you've done well in your life.
I look over my shoulder at him as I'm like, heating the pan up, and I'm like, yes, I have learned many long, hard lessons. Some at your hands, Werner. I am surprised to see you in this place. I thought you long dead.
Not yet. Not yet. You're smart like me.
Does it surprise you, old man, to see I grew up so large? After so many days, you wouldn't give me food. Gave it to the other slaves. The pretty ones. The ones that did as you said. Those who learned from your lashings. Does it surprise you how tall and strong I am now?
You've done well for yourself, Green, but I always knew you needed those lessons or else you wouldn't have. You should be thanking me.
And I turn around.
The look on his face is kind of changing a little bit. Now he's kind of getting like a little mad.
Yeah, I turn around and I'm holding like I've taken a knife from his like knife block or like whatever, like one of his like kitchen knives. And I turn around and I say to him, I'm like, yes, I did learn a lesson, Werner. I learned that those who eat survive, and those who are eaten. And I like take a fast step towards him and shove the knife into his stomach.
Yeah.
I'm like, those who are eaten, they make the rest of us strong.
Yeah, he gasps.
Yeah, and I lean in.
He clutches at your chest.
Yeah, I lean in, I grab his shoulder, and I shove the knife like deeper, and I like pull it down. There's probably like a wet, like splashing noise. And I say, I'm like, now, Werner, we will make up for all those days you refused to feed me. And I like throw the knife on the floor and just like grab a handful of whatever's in his guts and just like pull them out and walk back over to the stove.
Yeah. All right, so we got this nice shot through the rippled glass windows of Grigori cooking on the stove and, roasting up some organ on the stovetop.
Yeah, and I'm just whistling some song that like we've heard me play on my balalaika before.
Yeah. I think the rest of you have an uneventful night.
There's like this camera angle of the ground by your boots.
It's uneventful.
And there's like a small puddle of blood that like comes up and like touches the heel of your boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, you guys make it to the Frigid Queen and you spend a gold piece each, buying yourselves pretty lavish rooms. And Yeah, you each have separate rooms. You have meals sent up or hot baths prepared. Like this place is nice, and it's in the district called the Palace of 1,000 Rooms. And when you get here, actually, what happens is there are guards placed at the entrance of a huge, massive structure that looks like it's been destroyed and rebuilt and built onto itself a number of times. You look up and you can see just on the rooftops of this structure as you're approaching there seem to be like cook fires up on top of the structure and people moving back and forth up there. But you approach the guards at these large doors, more like gates, and you express that you're looking for the Frigid Queen, and they glance you up and down and point you in the right direction, and then make notes in their ledgers of people entering.
Right.
So yeah, you head down a long curve, and there's sort of a circular plaza where in the center it's all indoors. There's ornate carved columns of bright brown wood along the sides of this, and there are brightly painted doors at nearly every level, some of which have, again, wrought iron staircases leading up to them. And the Frigid Queen is across this plaza. You step up to it, approach, get your rooms, no problem.
Now, Strippin, are you gonna like carry me up and put me into bed? Because you were carrying me when we left. I'm still like sobbing.
Yeah, I imagine I've just kept you underarm and like got 2 rooms, opened your room, just like thrown you down on the bed, and then just like slam the door.
If you're carrying around like a football, do you just like throw her on the bed, do a little touchdown dance?
Like touchdown style? Just
bounce her off the floor.
Just like one on the collar and one on the pants, and I kind of just like toss you onto the bed. Just
when
like leave the key on the dresser and just leave the room.
When you toss me in the bed, I look back at you, and I just kind of stare at you, and I just kind of I've got that that drunken stare that sometimes people get when they're like figuring out what they're gonna say, and I just look at you and I say, there's something really, really dark about you. And my facial expression just goes straight. I'm just looking at you, just staring at you, and that's the only thing I say to you. And I just look. I just want you to feel this gravity, this stare that I'm giving you, and these words that I'm saying to you, just how dark I think you are, and how I don't know. I'm just kind of drinking. Yeah.
The room's like really dimly lit too, but like I can see your gaze, and I like pause and reflect on it for a minute, and I'm like, go to sleep, and then I just like slam the door.
Nice. All right, so the night passes uneventfully. You all sleep, wake very well rested. It's the first time in weeks that you haven't had to post watches. All of you've gotten a full night's sleep in a comfortable bed in a temperate area. Like this is luxurious. Those of you who wanted baths can have them.
Is that chick with me, Waza?
Absolutely.
If she is, I want to say that I was so exhausted from our travels that we started to do stuff and then I fell asleep.
You just fell asleep? Yeah,
I just straight up fell asleep on her.
Yeah.
Okay. Never hook up with an adventurer. They're always too tired.
When you wake up Darius, when you wake up in the morning, she's gone.
Okay. Did she take my shit?
No, your shit is fine.
Oh, thank God.
Like you check through it all and it's like, everything's there.
Real quick, before Gallahan leaves the room, actually, a second thing I wanted to kind of say, I kind of wanted to mutter it, and I wanted to say that you'll be the death of us all, is what I wanted to say as you kind of left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Let's see how many days it's going to take them to get back with you. Get back.
I had a bath, a couple of wenches in the bed. It was good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's going to be a lot. Yeah. Okay. So it ends up taking 5 days before you hear anything from Ilonis. But on the 5th day, you're all hanging out in the Frigid Queen. And the proprietor, let's see what his name is. His name is Vaskin. Who among you are the person sort of primarily responsible for like the party here? Who's the representative that would be the main contact?
I'd say
I'd say after for the thieves, you mean?
No, like for the hotel that you're staying at now, for the tavern you're staying at.
Oh, me. Because me and the doc are the loaded ones, and I was the only one there when we checked in.
Yeah. So you hear a pounding on your door, sort of, 10 a.m. on the 5th day that you're staying here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of open the door.
Yeah. There's Vaskin who's standing there. He says, good morning, Gallahan. Listen, I have this for you. And he's holding out a large candle.
Kind of like stares blankly for a minute. It's like, why is he giving me a candle? And then he remembers the conversation about the candles that have the messages.
Candle phone for you, sir.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can take it in here.
Oh, yes. It's 30 gold, but just light it.
I just kind of like reach into my back pocket and like throw a small purse at him.
Nice. Yeah, he catches it and nearly drops the candle in doing it and says, thanks. Thanks, Gallahan. Good luck. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be right downstairs. Can send up another bath for you, or
I just kind of slowly close the door as he's talking.
Jug of mead.
Yeah. I walk inside. I set the candle down, and then I produce a rag from my hand.
Yeah.
I produce a rag and tie it around my hand because these last few days I've been like drawing blood out of my hand and like dripping it on the egg.
Okay.
Just like in a moment of madness to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And so he caught me like right as I was finishing up this specific day. I'd like cut my hand and I'd like drop a couple of bits of blood on the egg.
Every time you do that, you feel the egg growing warmer and warmer to your touch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I swaddle my hand up and light the candle, and then kind of like take a couple of steps back because I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of like looking at the candle cautiously.
Yeah. I think you sort of sit there looking at the candle, and it catches your attention, and it's like the light around the room just sort of fades out, and the candle sort of grows, and it occupies most of your vision until it's like all you can focus on is this candle. And then suddenly you look around and the room is completely empty. There's just a table, a candle, and then like a black floor that vanishes off into nothingness. And you hear a voice speaking in your mind. And it's the voice of Ilanis. And it says, "Hello, we've heard some news. You're looking for information about dragons. Well, there's 2 people in town who seem to know about it. The first one you're not going to like. His name is Charles Emanciprex. He lives in the palace of 100 or 1,000 rooms. He's a very, very important man. The second one, his name is Loranth. He lives in the district of Gardens. He's a bit of an eccentric. Seems like he collects information about dragons. Sounds like he got word of you. He's looking for you. Be careful with him. He's fanatical. Whichever one you want to approach, just let me know. I'll get you in touch. But it's going to cost you."
Okay. Is that the end of the message, or is it like a communications thing?
That's all.
Do I talk? Do you talk? Who talks first?
Yeah,
that's the end. All right.
That's the end of the message.
Galahad talking to a candle. Hello. This thing on.
You shake your head and you blink and you clear your vision, and the candle is just a puddle of wax, and it's evening. It's like late evening in Pyranor now.
Okay. So how long was I looking at this candle?
5 or 6 hours.
Jesus. All right. Yeah.
Your stomach rumbles.
Okay. Well, I kind of swaddle the egg back up and just like kind of do the knocking rounds for the other guys, get them out of the rooms.
As soon as you open the door, there's a platter of food on the ground in front of it.
Oh, everyone else is eating without me? Is that what's happened?
I left it there for you. I tried to knock, couldn't hear shit. Thought, he's sleeping. walked away.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. I just tuck into some food then.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And then you go round everybody up.
Yeah.
I answered the door almost naked. I just woke up. I've been sleeping like this whole time. Just freaking exhausted.
Do you have like a hand towel wrapped around your waist?
Yeah, that's like all I have.
Yeah.
So as Tilly and Gallahan walk up, I'm just like, what? That's it. That's all I say to you guys. What? What do you want?
Is everyone
That's
together
it.
yet?
Yeah.
I
You
assume
guys are all
everybody's
together. You're either in a room or in the common room of the tavern, wherever you want to be.
Well, I'll bring them all back to my room because I can chow down on the platter.
Yeah, okay.
And I thank Darius for the food. And then I kind of just relay the message of the candle. And I'm like, looks like the crazy one already knows about us. So we should probably go to the other one.
Tilly's
No,
just
his
sitting
name-
there with her hand in her head in her hands, just like this. Like you don't even know if she's paying attention or not.
What was the name of the rich guy in the 1,000 rooms?
Yeah. So in the Palace of 1,000 Rooms, there's Lord Charles Emanciprex.
Yeah, Lord Charles Emanciprex.
And then in the Garden District, there's Loranth, a fanatic.
So I want to avoid Loranth because that to me sounds like someone else who wants my egg.
Well, hold on though. If this person, this fanatic, is someone who collects information about dragons, we have a great deal to offer them. And fanatics, they do not think straight. They desire and are driven by that. On the other hand, a noble, well, in my opinion, most nobles already think they have everything they need, and we are going to go to them as beggars. So we have advantage with crazy person. Plus, and I kind of like look around, I'm like, we are all obviously very comfortable in company of insanity.
And I sort of like look around like, I'm not insane.
I like
So
kind
much
of look at Darius
talking.
wearing like no clothes, and I'm just like, really?
You're really going to say that?
Yeah, you're really gonna say that right now?
I'm like, what?
So-
It's what? You've never seen a man before.
No, I've seen men before. That is not a man. That's a frail boy.
And it's like, you know what?
I don't even know how you
Nice
get so
to
many women.
Listen,
Looking like-
listen, Gallahan, Darius, we are all three of us very attractive men types. Is fine. No need to compare and contrast just now.
All right, half price. Who's better? Me.
No, and then
Skinny boy.
and as half price looks up, I just drop my towel and everything. I'm like, what?
Look,
And I just
he's
sort of
not-
like put my hands on my hips.
Nice.
My hands just go
isn't-
right. I look up for a second, and my hands just go right back into my. Like, oh. I'm just like, so much talking.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good spot for us to draw to a close today. You guys have the options. You're all standing around naked in a hotel room together. Not sure how that last bit happened, but there we are. So, yes, next time we will figure out whether you guys want to approach Lord Charles Emanciprex or Loranth, the fanatic and glassworker, and we will see what happens.
Someone said roll for length, Darius.
Roll for length.
No.
It would be like what, 2d6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2d6.
Well, I mean, it's if you want to be realistic about modeling this, you got to look at the racial average for the biology of the person, right? Because does the elf thing help?
Yeah,
plus the character's
that's-
height, what's your constitution? You got to draft tables.
Sick.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas about this, Steven. I'll send you a Skype message.
Yeah, please. We need to
Are you really
detail.
gonna do this?
Yeah. Oh no. Now we know.
Low as higher, it's like golf.
You got a 3. You got a 3.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, no, there's
He's
a
a grower,
multiplier, right?
not a shower.
We're PCs. We're PCs. There's a multiplier. It's times 10. Just keep that in mind.
Right. All right. So, Darius, aka Pokket, why don't you give us some shout outs here at the end of our show?
Well, my name is Pokket, aka Hillary, and it's twitch.tv/Pokket, Pokket, not Pocket Says, JP please. And I stream now Tuesday through Saturday. Wow. Tuesday through Saturdays, and I'm changing it up. I just moved different locations, and so I'll be on a regular schedule after PAX. So see you tomorrow.
Very nice. Let's hear from Gallahan, aka Strippin. Give us some shout-outs.
What's up, guys? My name's Strippin. You can find me at Strippin on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm a variety streamer. I just finished Dark Souls 3, but we're going to be playing a lot more of that too. Fucking JP. I'm going to be here tomorrow for... Jesus Christ. I'm just seeing it now on stream. I'm going to be here tomorrow for Balance of Power. So make sure you tune into that. And thanks so much to Stephen. It's been a good session.
Nice. All right. And Adam, from you?
Yes, I love the West Marches. This is so much fun. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to be both murder hobo in a tactical sense and murder hobo in a very literal sense. Yeah, this was a good one. I like that we're in a different place, and I'm excited to see where we end up. If you want to, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Adam Koebel. Like Sam, I've been playing the Dark Souls, but I'm going to be away for most of next week because PAX is coming up, so you can catch my my stuff there. I also sometimes do some like related content to this thing. Steven joins me on my channel occasionally, and we hack mechanics and do game design stuff. So if you're curious about that, you can check it out there. And you can follow me on Twitter, Skinny Ghost, where I tweet about all of that stuff. And like these other two, I will see you tomorrow for the Star Wars.
Super rad. Ellohime, why don't you give us
Team
some
Empire.
Well,
my name's Strippin. Hi, everyone. No, I'm Ellohime. I stream really early in the morning, Eastern time, so think like 4 a.m. in the morning. I've been starting a little earlier lately, but I'm a streamer. You can follow me and you'll find all my social media stuff and all that good shit all on my channel. I kind of have a more adult stream, so I say bad words that most people shouldn't hear. But if you're kind of into that, then come check it out. Also, tomorrow I'm doing a show, 1vs1. I had JP on. It was a lot of fun. It's just kind of an interview show, and I have Fairlight Excalibur tomorrow at 5 p.m. I think it's actually kind of coinciding with what you guys are doing, so fuck me, I guess. But no, if you guys happen to want to check that out, you guys are more than welcome to. We're going to get to know Fairlight a little bit. So thank you so much to the chat for, sticking around and watching. And thank you so much to Steven for making a wonderful campaign, and my fellow role players. I'm having a fucking phenomenal time, especially this session. I really liked how the relationships are developing. So thank you guys, all you guys. And I hope you guys have a great day.
Nice.
Sorry, Stephen, before you go, I can only think of one thing that will make today's episode better. Experience points.
Yep, exactly. So I do have that tracked. Let's go take a look at it. So for killing Etchef Nero, you got 700. For killing Pola, you got 450. For killing the thugs, you got 300. So that's total of 1450. Yep. Divided by 4 equals 363 points each.
Wicked.
You all had some goals and things, right? So Grigori's was to assert his strength. You did that. So, yep. Gallahan's was to uncover secrets. Did you put yourself at risk for uncovering secrets, Gallahan? Can't hear you.
Sorry, muted.
Yeah.
Did I put myself at risk? To uncover secrets?
Yeah.
I mean, I cut my hand a bunch of times to drip all over the egg.
That's true.
I don't know. I guess that's up to the rest of the group, right? It's not really for me to say.
I think the thing is, like, you didn't hide who you were, right? Like, the reason that this dude knows about you is because you're just like, I'm Gallahan. Yeah, you might have heard me. Like, your name got out there.
That's
I
true.
feel like if you were not putting yourself... Because the thing is, you're more concerned about the egg and your quest than you are about protecting yourself from those who might try to bring you harm. Even though we just got chased across Hell's fucking half acre.
Yeah.
I feel...
And then Tilly was like, you're going to kill all of us with your fucking quest.
Yeah,
totally.
So.
Okay, so
Put
Gregorian
us at
Gallahan,
risk too.
you're both level 4, right?
Yes.
Darius, did you put yourself at risk for accruing riches?
Well, I mean, I lied to them and I chased someone and stole their shit after I headshot him.
Yeah. Not to mention, sure. I agree. You're level 4 as well, right, Darius?
Yeah.
Tilly, did you put yourself at risk to find purpose?
Actually, I don't believe I did.
No?
I don't think I did anything directly to try to find my own path. I've been kind of following your path. This
Well, what about whenever you did your whole cutting open the body thing.
That was,
Or that.
I mean, I guess it could be argued, right? But I think that Tilly was more kind of following suit with what Grigori was doing and not kind of finding her own path. I guess in the exploration of that, there is kind of.
I feel like when we got to town and you started like carving in thief cantrips and stuff, that was definitely, we didn't even know about that. That was definitely
I was gonna say that
you
too.
did to develop your character and like try and reach out to.
I mean, too, don't downplay the idea that a person with no direction would seek it with someone else, right? Like, just because you want to find meaning in your life doesn't mean you have to find it alone. And so a lot of those situations where you're engaging and kind of like trying it out, you're exploring what feels like. See somebody else do something and you're like, I'm gonna try that. Oh, how does that feel for me?
I think, like I said, I think that argument could be made, but I don't think that Tilly this session was in the mindset of figuring herself out. I think that she was just kind of following, and that's just my take. I think I could probably always make an argument for it, right? Like I could find some way to kind of manipulate that to make it. I know. I hate to be, but I really, honestly, I don't know. I don't think that
you you had a flashback about killing the old man, and it made you throw up, which means that like it's not really in your character to do that. And also, you did the thief cantrip stuff. You totally did your own stuff.
Yeah, I disagree with you as well. I think that you did your own stuff.
I think I'm with the rest of the party. So Darius, Galhan,
you're gonna get some
Grigori,
XP and you're gonna like it, Ello.
Okay, I guess I will then.
each of you, Darius, Galhan, and Grigori, you each gain an additional 175 XP. Tilly, you gain an additional 113. So 363 plus your bonus, and that's in Roll20. As for me, hello, I'm Steven. I am the GM. Super fun. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And thank you very much to our 4 players for continuing with this awesome quest. I can't wait for next session. It's going to be so rad. And I'm really having a lot of fun now that we're in the city because it feels super different from being crawling out through the wilderness. And that's really fun. I have put a Q&A up on the subreddit, reddit.com/r/itmeJP. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Ask me any questions you want about the various anatomy of our party members. And yeah, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. Silent Osiris, the O is 0. Most recently, I've started playing Skyrim so that we can eventually transition into building quests and dungeons for Skyrim on stream. So that should be a lot of fun if you're into game development stuff. That's going to do it for tonight. So thanks, everybody, for coming out. And we will see you probably after PAX, which is next weekend. So that's it. Everybody have a great evening. Huge thanks to JP also. So that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.